Hey guys, this is Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now, before I begin, this might be a tad bit shorter than my normal length for this series, so it's hard. It's like hard to judge by the app I use to make the script. So sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's over an hour. So we'll just see how long this part is going to actually be. After Izuku trailed the masked men that kidnapped a black-haired girl from a limousine. As he's standing on top of a roof of a building across the street from the warehouse, gazing at the old warehouse. Judging by the scouts that's patrolling the outside of the warehouse, they seem to be well, sorry, they seem to be well armed with assault rifles. Of course, nothing I can't handle. I need to be careful, though. I don't know what their attention towards the girl that they kidnapped. They might just offer if I get spotted too soon. It's a good thing I brought this stupid mask with me. It would be a pain in the ass if I got recognized. As he placed the opera mask he was wearing when he was under mind control, when he was doing the Joker's dirty work, as he placed the mask over his face, as he manipulated his body to turn invisible, as he stealthily approaches the warehouse and sneak behind one of the men that was patrolling the outside of the warehouse and choked him out from from behind, wrapping his arm around his neck and dragging him into a dumpster and throwing him in. As he did the same thing to several of the men patrolling the area, while invisible. Once he entered the warehouse, he made all the light bulbs shatter with his telekinesis, making several people, or several of the men in the first floor panicking. He used that distraction to take out everyone in the first floor. He used his telekinesis to take several bricks from the brick wall and shoot them at several of the armed men, knocking them out. As he slowly approached the second story, walking up the stairs, when he finally got to the top of the stairs, he leaned against the wall, peeked around the corner. As he sees several armed men down the hallway carrying AK-47s. The AK-47 seems to be modified with larger clips and modified barrels for harder impact when they shoot their rifle. And judging by their attire, Izuku expects they might be ex-military by how they move and how all of them are wearing some sort of bulletproof vest with a squad patch on their somewhere on their clothes. He noticed a couple of them have flash grenades under their belt, so he used his power to pull the pin. Then the flash grenades went off and slammed everyone against the wall, making sure they're all knocked out. He could easily kill them, but he doesn't want to draw too much attention to himself. The main concern is the hostage, not killing random losers. As he approached the door at the end of the hallway, when he placed his hand on the doorknob, he heard a lot of rifle shots. As he had to put a psychic barrier around him at the last second, as the door gets torn to ribbons from rifle fire, he used a couple of the wooden crates that were in the room to hide when they had to reload their rifles while he's invisible. While he's invisible. All right, squad. Did you see him? Who or who the bastard was? No, sir. Be on guard. If if he was able to get if they were able sorry if the intruder was able to get up here, that means they're somewhat skilled. They might not have they might have some sort of an invisible quirk. Fan out and search. After gauging the room, Izuku hasn't located the kidnapped girl yet. There's only one room left. The door that sorry. As he sees the door at the end of the room, across the room, that leads to the last room. When Izuku is about to strike, the closest the the closest threat to him, a blonde woman wearing a black leather jacket comes bursting through the window while riding a motorcycle. As she spins, as she skids a tire and jump off the motorcycle and kick the nearest guy towards her, or kicks the nearest armed man that's closer to her. As she single-handedly disarms several of the armed men all at once when they group up, try to overwhelm her, then unleash a powerful scream, making all the armed men that were in her range go slamming against the wall. While the blonde woman was occupied with the people in front of her, Izuku saw one of the men try to sneak behind the blonde woman with a big hunting knife, ready to stab her in the back. As he uncloaked himself, making him visible to everyone in the room, then he yanked the knife out of his hand with his telekinesis and tossed it against the wall, then rushed forward and nailed the man across the face with his fist for good measure, making him fly into several of the wooden crates. Izuku is still learning to Izuku is still learning to control his modified superhuman strength. Black Canary turns around to see the new arrival that just came out of nowhere. I don't know who you are, but thanks for the assist. So I take it you're here as well to rescue the girl that was kidnapped. Izuku nod at Black Canary, so she doesn't recognize his voice if they ever met when he was not wearing the stupid opera mask. By the way, I love the leather jacket, mystery guy. You have good taste. Come on, let's go find the girl. When they both enter the room, they see several armed ex-soldiers with a tall man with some sort of metal piece covering his right eye, with blonde hair and a muscle shirt. As he sees the glowing... Oh, sorry, give me a second, guys. As he sees the kidnapped girl tied up to a chair, gagged and blindfolded. Well, I'll be damned, it isn't Black Canary herself. I don't know who you are, guy. But no matter. More the merrier. I was about to think this job was going to get boring. Let's see how you handle my men. Kill Black Canary. Bring the masked one. I'm curious who he is. As Muscular just watched his men begin firing rifles at the two of them, only to be surprised that all the bullets are hovering in the air, only to drop to the ground a couple seconds later. Now that's what we're talking about. Show me more, masked one. Izuku spoke for the first time to Black Canary. I'll handle Blonde. You deal with his men. I'll leave the girl's rescue to you. Black Canary could tell that he's young by the sound of his voice. Are you sure? Positive. I'm a lot more stronger than I look. Alright, sounds like a solid plan. When I get the girl to safety, I'll come back and help and back you up. Do what you want, Canary. Alright, Blondie, let's see what you're made of. Izuku disappeared and reappeared right in front of Muscular as he kicks him out of the building through the wall as he lands on top of a couple of cars. As he activates his muscle fibers to cushion his fall, to minimize the damage. Now that's what we're talking about. I actually felt that one. This is going to be so much fun. I'm going to have a blast breaking you, boy. Black Canary watched the mask, the masked ally she made tonight, kick the blonde guy out of the building through the wall. I'll be damned, he wasn't kidding. He's a lot stronger than he looks. Well, boys, it, it's it's just little old me against all of you. Let's see if you could show a girl a good time. As she dodges and weaves around the bull of the gunfire, as she gets close to engage in hand-to-hand combat, Black Canary could hear Black Canary could hear loud sounds outside as Muscular and Izuku are exchanging powerful strikes with each other. As you see Muscular as you see Muscular rushing forward at As you see Muscular and Izuku rush forward at each other, as both their fists collide with Izuku modified super strength and Muscular's enlarged muscle fibers on his. Give me a second. As Muscular enlarged his right arm, as both attacks collide, making all the nearby cars in the area go flying, smashing into several buildings, just from the pressure of both blows. Each time Izuku struck with his strength, he's learning bit by bit how far his strength can actually go. He's nowhere using his full strength. If he had more training, he would be able to wipe the floor with Muscular, but he's only using 20% of his modified strength. When Muscular attacked again, instead of matching his attack with his own, he used the two cars on the opposite side to smash Muscular with his telekinesis, making him to a car sandwich. Then blasts Muscular with fireballs, making the cars explode as Muscular goes flying across the hard street, skidding across the ground. Then he reappeared in front of him when he finally stopped his momentum and struck him in the stomach with his foot as he goes further into the ground, breaking the concrete street, creating a small crater. Izuku started to walk. After jumping backwards a little bit, as he started to walk towards Muscular, just in case he counterattacked, Muscular got up, enlarged his fist to the maximum. When Izuku turned around, again. As Muscular threw a flashbang, as he enlarged his fist to the maximum, when Izuku was able to finally see again, Muscular nailed Izuku across the face as the mask shattered from the impact, as he goes flying, sliding across the ground. As he split up some blood from the impact. You're done. As Izuku turned invisible and reappeared right in front of Muscular and struck him with his knee in the stomach as Muscular coughed up a little bit of spit. Then Izuku leg sweep Muscular as his legs couldn't keep balance because his feet are no longer on the ground. As Muscular falls to the ground, he falls on his back as Izuku begins to stomp him repeatedly in the stomach as he grabbed Muscular by the hair on the top of his head and began repeatedly striking him in the face. In return, Muscular tried to increase his muscle fibers to strike Izuku, only to get a nasty shock for his trouble infused with his fist as he begins to beat Muscular down as blood starts to spatter on Izuku's cheek from Muscular coughing up blood from each Izuku's attack. As he grabbed onto the back of his head again, "You're lucky that I'm trying not to kill you. If you fought me a year ago, I would have killed you on the spot. You piece of trash. I'm trying my best not to lose it." Before he could strike the finishing blow, a portal opened up underneath Muscular as he falls through the portal. As Izuku turns around, as he heard someone walking behind him. "My apologies, young man. I can't allow you to continue. My master had plans for that one. I do apologize. Allow me to properly introduce myself. I am Gary. I was quite impressed by your battle. I hope we don't meet each other again. For your own health, of course." As he portals away, "I remember that one. League of Villains. God damn it." As he slammed his fist into the street, making cracks in the cement. "I need to get out of here. The mask is no longer useful. It's pretty much shattered." As he starts to levitate in the air, landing on top of the building, watching Black Canary carry the black-haired girl. Then the authorities finally arrive as Izuku sees several cop cars stop, and a couple of heroes as they begin to arrest all the unconscious men that kidnapped the only daughter of the Yaoyorozu family. As the ambulance show up to transfer Momo to the hospital to make sure she's not injured in any way. At least the girl's safe. I should probably get back home. I've been gone longer than I expected. As he makes his way home, as he finally approaches his front door and opens it, as he walks through, Poison Ivy notices Izuku as she rushes over. What happened, Izuku?" As she notices a couple of bruises on his face, his clothes is ripped up a little bit. Only piece of clothing that wasn't damaged was his leather jacket. I kind of ran into trouble. You can tell us all about it. Dinner's ready. You came home just in time. Please, no more night walks. You seem to get in trouble a whole lot when you're left to your own devices. Starting to think that myself. It's for the best." After explaining what happened when he went for a walk, all three of them had a pleasant dinner as they turned in for the night, as they all slept in the same bed. They're not expecting a answer right away. They're giving him some time. They don't want to rush him or pressure him into something, so they will wait patiently for his answer. Izuku's never been in that sort of relationship, so he doesn't want to rush things. He wants to properly process it. As we cut to Metropolis at the Hall of Justice, as Superman is waiting for his cousin to arrive. As Supergirl walks in, only seeing her cousin. "You wanted to see me, cuz?" Am I in trouble? Am I in trouble? Of course not. But I can only trust this to you. She sat down to listen to her cousin. "I want you to go to Japan at the end of the year." Cousin, what's going on?" "I want you to go to Japan and attend a hero school and keep an eye on someone for me." "You're starting to sound like Bruce." "Don't remind me. That's what Lois said when I told her about this. Anyways, I want you to keep an eye on a young man around your age that goes by Izuku Midoriya. Batman is very paranoid about that young man. If he gets out of hand, you're the only one that's able to subdue him. According to what I've been told, he's quite powerful. In what brief A brief example of his powers that I've seen personally. If you're the one asking me, then I'll do it, cuz. When do I leave? You have about 5 or 6 months. I've already transferred your documents to the principal of UA. You just have to take the entrance exam. I have full faith that you'll pass with flying colors. Just don't go overboard. You be far you're far more powerful than the rest of the people who are attending that Hero Academy. They might have powers, but I highly doubt they can compete against a Kryptonian. And if you can, try to befriend him. Batman might be suspicious of him. There's a real There's no reason to make an enemy of a enemy of him. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this. I've never been to a hero school before. I've only been on Earth for a few years. It's not very common here in the US, but Japan has a couple of hero schools, according to what Batman has informed me. It used to be a high school, but they changed it into a university after a whole class was killed by a villain. So they had to change it. Let's just say the parents weren't too happy about it. Is there anything else? Is there anything else I need to know, cuz? Young man is Esper. Batman's already trying to dig up information on the subject. It's some sort of superpower that people used to have. They used to exist a long time ago with special powers. Kind of like metahumans. Espers were supposed to be the first superpower humans on Earth. They mysteriously died off. Most people don't believe they actually exist. That's all the information I have on them on the subject right now. Here's here's the profile that Batman made of him. Some of his abilities are listed here. I highly doubt all of his abilities are listed though. As he hands over the as he hands over the file to Kara, just fill me in. Oh, sorry. Just just inform me of anything goes. Just inform me of your progress. Try to keep me informed. As Kara agree with Superman to keep him informed, as she goes back home to start packing. To the Kent farm. As we cut back to Japan, Izuku is finally getting up. As he's getting ready to start his day, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and the two girls are soundly asleep peacefully. He was quiet, so he didn't wake them up. It's officially the weekend. Poison Ivy and Harley have the day off. Well, they have the whole weekend off. So they're sleeping in. He decided to cook breakfast for the both of them. About time he was finished, Poison Ivy and Harley finally woke up and came down the stairs as they entered the breakfast smelling the food. As he set the as he set the food on the table, as he told the girls that he's gonna go down to the beach for some light training with his telekinesis. He hasn't trained his abilities in a long time. Before he left, both of the girls kissed him on each cheek of his face. As he left the house, about 15 minutes later, he finally arrived at the beach. He saw the beach littered with trash. He's going to use this opportunity to clean up the beach and train at the same time. As he used his telekinesis to crush the metal debris that scattered all around the beach into small metal balls, compressing all the trash. After 6 hours of this, barely making a dent. By the looks of the beach, people have been using this as a dumping ground for years. So it's going to take more than one day to clean up all the trash on the beach, even with OP telekinesis powers. Izuku's sitting on the bench, trying to cool off in the shade, As he heard sets of footsteps walking towards him, here, catch. Izuku catches the water bottle that Black Canary toss at, toss at him. As she sat down right next to him, do I know you? Cute. Let's just drop. Sorry, cute. Let's just drop it. I know who you are, Izuku. I do appreciate the help last night. I truly kinda knew who you were the whole time, so I just played along. Did you know you can't go around fighting crime, especially in Japan, without some sort of license? Normally, in the States, this wouldn't be an issue, but Japan runs things a little bit differently here. And as your future teacher, I would not have one of my students go get arrested. What do you mean, future future teacher? I'm fully aware you're going to attend UA. Batman has informed me, so has the principal. So has Principal Nezu, and I have no doubt you're going to pass this little exam. With someone with your abilities, you seem to be quite used to. Sorry, you seem quite used to your abilities so far. What I've seen, I've been keeping an eye on you. Well, sorry, try again. I'll be keeping an eye on you, Slugger. As she gently socked Izuku on the side of the arm with her fist, as she got up from the bench. Batman might be highly suspicious of you, but that's normal. But that's normal for him. God damn it! Give me a second, guys. He's suspicious of everyone, but I am up to speed. What happened to you? And I'm aware you've been taking therapy sessions with Miss Harley. On sorry? On top of her sessions, you'll be taking sessions with me. You were forced to do what you were forced to do under mind control would cause a lot of trauma for a weaker mind. And I could tell by your posture and how you operate and how you talk from last night, you're far from being weak. For being weak-minded. But that doesn't mean you were unscathed. We'll be seeing each other again, Izuku. Good luck with your training, and make sure to take breaks. Make sure to keep yourself hydrated. As she waves goodbye to the young green-haired boy, as she walks away. Harley was kind of spying on him the whole time. Good, she finally left. Harley? Hey, hun. As she sat down right next to Izuku, you know, it's only a matter of time before the bats send someone to keep an eye on you. He's a very cautious man. You don't need to worry about that. He won't do anything as long as you're a good boy. I wanted to see what type of training you were doing. Then I spotted Black Canary talking to you. So I kind of listened in a little bit. So I take it Batman has something to do with her being the teacher in UA. Most likely. Well, that doesn't really matter. I have no interest in the bats. He can be suspicious all he wants. He can send whoever he wants to keep an eye on me. It doesn't matter to me. I know you and Ivy want to answer. Just give me a little more time. I'm still trying to figure all this out. Don't need to worry. You don't need to worry about it. Take your time. Me and Ivy will be here when you finally decide. While you two are waiting for my response, I suppose I could take you two on a couple of dates. It's only fair. Now Now you got my interest. Don't get me wrong, Harley. I do care about you two a great deal. I just don't want to rush into things. So let's start off slow and work our way up to something more serious. As she leans her head against Izuku's shoulder, it's been a while since I've been on a proper date. I'm looking forward to it, Izuku-kun. Izuku got up from the bench. So did Harley, as he grabbed onto her hand. Harley was quite surprised by the affection, but she welcomed it nonetheless. Izuku started to walk in the opposite direction of the house, confusing Harley where he's taking her. Where are you taking me, Izuku-kun? When I was walking to the beach, I overheard a nice couple talking about a circus in town. I figured you would get a kick out of that. As Harley's eyes sparkle from the mention of a circus, Izuku and Harley spent the whole day at the circus, riding several carnival rides at the festival or circus that they provide for their guests. He found out Harley kind of acts like a small child sometimes when it comes to stuff like this. He couldn't help but find it adorable. As they're walking home from the circus, as they spent the whole day at the circus until like around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, Harley is eating a huge cone of cotton candy. As Harley is carrying a stuffed animal that Izuku won for her from a carnival game in her opposite hand. When Izuku walked into the front door with Harley, he sees Poison Ivy with her hands on her hip, with an angry expression on her face. It seems like you two had fun. Harley tried to speak up, but Poison Ivy shut her up by placing her finger against her lips, gesturing her to keep quiet. I truly hope you don't have any plan tomorrow, Izuku dear. While you had fun with Harley, I was home alone. So tomorrow you're going to take me out, somewhere nice, the whole day. Do I make myself clear, sweetheart? After all, it's not fair to spend so much time with just one of us. Izuku knows if he tries to protest, it will not end well for him. Alright, I surrender, Ivy. I'll take you out tomorrow. Good. I'll forgive you if you cook us dinner. Alright, I'll get started. That's a good boy. Izuku left the room to cook dinner. I can tell, Red, you're not angry at all. Of course not, I'm not angry. I'm just giving him a hard time. And I just felt left out. That's all. He'll make it up to me. So, where did you two go? At a carnival. I had a really good time. I haven't had this much fun since I was a little girl. He's a sweetheart. That he is. I wonder what he's going to cook us. I'm curious as well. After a few hours, Izuku finally finished dinner for the three of them, making Harley cheeseburgers with fries, and for Poison Ivy, a couple of vegetarian dishes. After eating dinner, they all went to bed. The next morning, Izuku made French toast for everyone. After searching the internet for something that he would think Poison Ivy would enjoy, he decided to keep it simple, taking her out to a nice restaurant for lunch and take a walk through a forest, enjoying each other's company. After lunch at the restaurant, they are walking through the forest. Poison Ivy seems to be enjoying herself, as they tried to get to know each other even more. When Poison Ivy was to turn to Izuku's direction, she noticed he was clenching his head with his hands over his face, like he had some sort of migraine. Then his eyes starts to glow bright white as everything nearby goes flying, ripping trees out of the ground and the trees and the roots out of the ground. As he begins to levitate in the air, Ivy Ivy had no choice but to use the vines to keep herself grounded, or she would have been flown backwards. Izuku starts to see flashes like he was on a operation table, staring up staring up to a man wearing a plague mask with a scalpel in his hand, as he feels pure fear. As chunks of the earth start to float around Izuku, as water from a nearby stream begins to circle around Izuku, as electricity and fire starts to circle around Izuku like a vortex. The part of the anti-life equation activated for the first time as the element increased momentum around Izuku. A second later, it all the water well, it stopped as the water and the piece of earth begins to fall as the fire stops and the electricity starts to stop from emanating from Izuku's body. As Izuku begins to fall down, as Poison Ivy used her vines to catch Izuku before he hit the ground, as she holds Izuku in her arms with a very concerned look in her face. As Izuku is unconscious, Poison Ivy brought Izuku home. It's been a week. He's still unconscious, like he's in some sort of for some a coma-like state. For some reason, the anti-life equation and his Esper abilities resonated with each other. While Izuku was in his coma-like state, several images into his brain of a small white-haired girl with red eyes, with a horn on the side of her forehead. As he sees flashes of her life, while under the care of the man with the plague mask. As he sees glimpses of the horrible experiments that she's going through, as Overhaul is trying to create core canceling bullets. But the image he's been getting is only flashes of her past, so he's unable to get the full memories to truly understand what's happening to the girl. But what images he has been seeing is very disturbing. Re- Regardless if he's actually getting memories from an actual person or just his or this is just his imagination. But it's easy to tell by the sorry by that the man's wearing the plague mask has no good intention towards the terrifying girl. When he finally woke up from his coma-like state, he shot up out of bed, surprising Harley and Poison Ivy. Blood starts to trail from his eyes. He rushed over to the bathroom as he starts to puke in the toilet a little bit. A few minutes later, he got up to look in the mirror and wipe the blood tears from his face as he runs some warm water from the bathroom sink and splash some in his face in an attempt to calm himself down. Whatever twisted dream he had, it truly disturbed him. After splashing some water on his face, Harley and Ivy came to check up on him. They entered the bathroom. They tapped on his shoulder to make sure he was alright. Scared us half to death. Are you alright, Izuku? You had us worried. I think I'm fine. What happened? I don't know. You just suddenly start floating in the air and cause quite a bit of damage. I think I'm going to take a break from training. I'm going to refrain from using my abilities for a little bit, so something like this doesn't happen in the city. If you need me, girls, I'll be in the backyard meditating. Poison Ivy and Harley could tell he's disturbed by the look in his eyes. Whatever happened while he was unconscious, they can tell he's very unsettled. The past couple days, Izuku was very distant. After the next day has came, he started to act normal. Izuku pushes the images in the back of his mind. He didn't want to worry the two girls. They were relieved to see him back to normal, his normal self. As he continued his training, he was relieved that the incident that happened in the forest did not reoccur. 3 months later, at the beach, he has finally cleared off all the trash. He gathered all the small metal balls that he created with the scrap all around the beach and burned them to the crisp, leaving nothing but ash as the wind scattered the ash into the ocean. As he walked away, as he decided to walk back home, Izuku heard someone yelling behind him as he saw a familiar blonde that he saved from that sludge villain incident. Finally found you, bastard! Die! As Bakugo unleashed the explosion when he got close enough, Bakugo smirked when he let out his explosion from his hands. Bakugo eyes widened, seeing his explosion in the palm of the green-haired boy's hands. As he caught the explosion with his telekinesis, I believe this is yours. As he rushed towards Bakugo and hit him with his own explosion, making him go flying backwards, going through several time meters that's on the beach sidewalk, finally landing against a dumpster that's right beside the bathrooms. Izuku pulled the blonde with his telekinesis and elbowed him in the face, then grabbed onto his head and slammed him into the sidewalk. Listen here, you little punk. I don't know what your problem is, but if you do this again, you'll be spending some quality time in the hospital in a body cast, loser. As he gives the angry blonde a vicious kick in the dome of his face, knocking him out. As Izuku walks away like nothing happened, with his hands in his jacket pocket. And that's where we're going to cut it. Hope you guys have a good night and day. Enjoy my time zone, and I'll catch you in the next video.